Welcome back to another episode on Dopamine Dialogues. This series is something a little bit different and something that has grown to be a passion of my heart. And I wanted to start showcasing African female entrepreneurs specifically, and hence She Builds Mnandi series. And my first guest today is a friend, a mom I met through school. Our daughters are good friends, and she is an inspiration to me. Her confidence, her sensuality, I've always admired. And Carmen Ely, say your surname. Ely. E-L-Y.
Well, it actually could be anything you want. You know what? It really doesn't matter. You're so polite. You're so polite and so professional. I appreciate that.
Carmen Ely
Yep.
is the founder of me.ZA. We are actually sitting in her amazing, sophisticated, sensual, gorgeous boutique intimacy shop right now in Johannesburg. And her intent, you can correct me if I'm wrong, her intent was to empower women and men through sensual self-awareness.
Yes.
Born from your own journey of reclaiming pleasure. After divorce, you can talk us through, the life milestones that led you here. But Play With Me ZA, and the first time I visited it was a couple of weeks ago when you had the moms here for a catch-up evening, and it isn't a sex shop. Let me just put that out there. By the way, before I say that, disclaimer, this is a PG-18 podcast, so if there are any under 18s listening right now, I think take it off speaker or listen later. But it isn't a sex shop. As you walk in, it is so feminine and elegant, and it feels so professional and emotionally intelligent. I just felt invited to explore my own intimacy with grace and with curiosity.
Oh, wow.
So, Carmen, first question
before we get to the first question, there were two moms who did not know which business I was in, and I didn't realize, and she arrives at the door, and she walks in and she says, I told my husband I think it's a candle store, because I've got all the sensual candles downstairs, and he said, no babe, I think it's something else. And I realized there were some new moms and nobody knew, but they were comfortable.
Yeah.
And that's exactly, and thank you for describing the store like that. That means the most to me. When I set out, I wanted us to have a dignified shopping experience, a place that's like home, a place where you're understood, a judgment-free zone. And I think I've managed to create that.
Yeah, totally managed to create that.
That's what I set out to do.
So
I know I've gone off topic.
No, you haven't. There is no script for this.
Yeah.
So I read your article that was written in The Citizen, and it describes that, the divorce was the catalyst for this. But I know, speaking to you one-on-one, it was much more than that.
Yes.
So tell us about how you started this, how it came about.
So it was back in, just before my daughter was born, 2008, 2009. I was working at Vodacom, and we were building app stores and the ringback tones, and mobile TV didn't exist. Can you imagine that? Mobile TV didn't exist. We were building mobile TV. It was the first time you could watch this on your phone. It was like the heyday of like the technical time. And I shared an office with someone, and she was like, I'm divorced, I've got a 6-year-old son, and I don't feel like driving to an adult store and parking there. And so we would fantasize about building websites. I think there was probably only one website that sold adult toys, or if that even at the time, because it wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
And we'd fantasize about it because we were building similar other things. And we'd be like, can you imagine the courier just arrived at your gate and it delivers? Thinking back now, it just seems so ridiculous that it didn't exist. And I phoned my mother and I said to her, Mom, I've got a plan. I need to build an online sex toy store. And she was so excited. She's like, Carmies, I love this idea, but I was stuck with the name. And the next day she phones me and she says to me, I've got a name for your store. It's Tia and Tia. And I said to her, what does that stand for? She goes, Titis and Totis.
Can you please explain that for the international listeners, or do we have to Google it?
Boobies and lingams, okay? Let's be professional in your podcast.
Oh my God.
And I said to her, Mom, I need something more premium, okay? We can't be calling it that. She said, but Carmies. She was going into retirement. She said, I'm going to crochet nipple and willy warmers, and I'm going to stick them in your clients' boxes. I can fulfill from my garage. This was my mother. So excited about Tia and Tia, okay? And then life got busy. I moved to another big corporate. In between, I got divorced. And so Tia and Tia / whatever we were going to be calling this kind of was parked. And then she died. And you know that moment of watching someone take their last breath, so much shifts for you. And I thought, what am I doing? I'm coming home at 9, 10 o'clock at night. It's the golden handcuffs corporate life. You know, we share those experiences. And I decided I'm just going to quit my job and see what happens. And then I panicked because I've never just quit my job without another job. And then I was like, but I can build this website. It's a business idea. So picture the scene. It's a business idea. It's about earning an income. Some people think selling products is an overnight get-rich-quick scheme. We'll be covering that. It's not about the product, I realized later on. And the next year, February, I took a bit of a sabbatical. The next year, February, by the 14th, Valentine's Day, I'd launched the website. And so that's officially how Play With Me started. Wow. From home, in my spare room, on the website.
And how did the name come about? And the cherry logo. I absolutely love the cherries.
The name, I was dating someone in Limpopo, so it was a long drive back, okay, after one of our weekends away. And I went through a series of names, and I don't even know how Play With Me, on that N1, okay, I had a whole bunch of names, how Play With Me came about. And it was about 2 years later, I was sitting with a marketing strategist, a friend of mine, and he said to me, but don't you know why you chose Play With Me? I said to him, no. He says, but think about it. He says, play, toys, with connection, and me, myself. And all those things together is what we need to be focusing on. He says, but you knew this. And you know, it's like you know it, but you don't know it.
You had a download.
Yeah, it was a download.
Oh, Pisces. So.
Yes, exactly. And so that was the start of Play With Me. Happily at home on the website, because remember, it was all about the product. And then COVID hits. And we're not allowed to deliver anything. And you're kind of a year into business and you're going, I really don't know what I'm doing. You know, all those people in business who look like they do know what they're doing?
Yeah. No.
Do you look at me and think I look like I know what I'm doing?
Yes, of course.
No, I don't know what I'm doing. There are days when you're like, I'm just going to wing it now and wing it some more. COVID was an interesting time to reflect and see where the business goes next, because I mean, it's a brand new website. Now you can't deliver. You're pretty much stuck. A year later, I'm stuck.
Wow.
Okay. And I had actually, pre-COVID, met up with owners of a swingers club. And they said they were looking for a shop at their premises. So I had been there for 6 months. That was a fun time. And we're not going to cover all of that today. For your next part 2, we can cover lifestyles if you'd like to. But I've moved all my stock home. So I had website stock at home. I had now all the little mini Play With Me shop stock at home. And straight out of hard lockdown, I was like, I'm living in a sex toy store. I have a daughter. Clients want to come and pick things up from the house. It became a little bit too close to home, and I needed a space. When a client leaves my driveway with a penis pump in his backpack on his motorbike, I thought, I need a space. You can't be coming here. And
a penis pump?
A penis pump in his backpack on his motorbike, and off he went.
What is a penis pump?
A penis pump is like an exerciser for your penis. So it stimulates blood flow. A lot of gentlemen will arrive here and go, I want to be bigger. I want to be girthier. With daily use of a penis pump, you can get maximum gains of up to 30%.
What?
So if you're battling to maintain, if you're battling to get it up, penis pumps will exercise the penis for you.
So just FYI, guys, sorry, I digress.
We're going to digress a lot.
So you didn't want it to be close to home. Yeah.
And then I found the spot, which was pretty close to home. And I moved in 5 years ago, and here we are. And I move in here and look at this building next door. I'm pointing out the window to the building next door to Zurika. My marriage counsellor was there.
No.
We went to marriage counselling in that building. I had forgotten that they were in the gantry. So I move in here, I'm standing on the balcony, I'm like, that building looks familiar. I was in marriage counselling in that building. All those years ago.
Picking up on that, and this is what I picked up in the article, and you mentioned that, you know, the intimacy in your marriage
Yes.
was part of the catalyst of you exploring this type of work.
Which I didn't know when I thought it's all about the toys, and you're 100% correct, because that was the moment standing here going, wow, I've come full circle. You know, you're in a marriage, you think this is how married life is supposed to be. You know how it is. No one trains you up. We were so young then. My mother was my favorite person. I could talk to her about anything, except I didn't want to talk to her about that. It was weird. And I'm now pretend snoring so we don't have to be intimate.
I know, it's horrible. It's not.
And I don't have resources. And
Yeah.
we went to this therapist. And I mean, look, we probably got back on track. I wouldn't say fully, probably for about a year. In that time, I fell pregnant with my daughter, so that was a big blessing. And I say my whole marriage was a blessing for many reasons. I'm also really glad that it's over and we've moved on and we're happier. That's fine. But afterwards, I apologized to him and I said to him, I blamed you because you didn't know how to pleasure me. Except I didn't know how to pleasure me. That wasn't on you. But my favorite saying is, I don't know what I don't know.
Right.
So the nice thing about being in this privileged space is when someone walks in that door, I can immediately see where they're going wrong and I can help them there. Because the thing is, there's a switch that goes off. One day you're busy fixing your marriage, the next day there's a switch and you can't get back. I don't know if you can fix. You give me the creeps, you give me the ick. Not that he's icky, okay? We had a kid together. Things were good in the beginning of our relationship, but I couldn't undo that feeling. And I don't know if you can get that back. Sometimes with, extreme counseling. And a lot of my clients don't want to go to sex therapists. They're like, yeah, but I'm labeled an issue. And this is what a lot of couples do. So they get to that point. I'm feeling guilty because we're not having sex. That is, on man's daily agenda. And I'm resentful and I'm this and I'm that. And we're speaking across purposes and we're not having fun together anymore, and that gets worse. We're not laughing together, and so it gets worse, and we're drifting further and further apart. The one good thing this woman spoke to us about is she said, go and have a fun day Sunday. Go and have fun. Go karting, paintballing, bike rides, go laugh together. Connect at that level. But she didn't coach us through then taking it from there back into intimacy. That part was missing. So someone will walk in here and go, oh, there was a guy once. There's something wrong with my wife's libido, okay? We need this We Vibe chorus, which is a couple's toy, also about 4,500 rand. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, in that moment, some people want to talk and hear about it, other people don't. They want what they want. And I thought, I'll take a chance with him. And we sat down and I made him a cup of coffee and I was like, you know what, I think communication is the biggest challenge here. The We Vibe chorus is going to lie in the drawer, and then the toy didn't work. Let's talk about basic things. Love languages. What is her love language? Have you been going out of your way to make her feel special? And we had this whole conversation. He left with a pack of communication cards and no We Vibe chorus. And that is what, from a business owner's perspective, I insist on in this business. I'm not here for the hard ABCs of selling. I'm here to go, you have this problem, how do I best serve you in a way that means something to you that actually will work? So not everything always works. Some people have, but I also have experts I can refer you to. And that is the heart and soul of this business.
It's a healing business.
It is a healing business. And in this business, healed, how I view myself and my stance with respect to my own pleasure. Because if we go back to basics, and a lot of people battle with, but I'm not sure about this and I can't climax there, and let's go back to, do you believe you deserve to feel pleasure, yes or no? How many people can sit there and go, yes? Very few.
Me included. And it's something I've been working on, this thing of receiving.
Oh, yes, receiving.
When I stepped into your shop and we started talking about, the type of clients that you get and the conversations that you have, and it ends up being more about the conversation you're having with your client here than selling your product, it clicked for me that you were in alignment as a healer, because healers have to go through the depths of their own pain and journey to bring back the medicine, and your medicine is bringing intimacy.
That's
to
an
so
excellent
many
point.
people.
I've never really looked at it from that perspective.
This is your medicine.
Yeah,
because
it is my
you
medicine.
went through it, and you are coming. You came out of it, and you
Yes.
created the space based on that.
Yeah.
When was the moment? You know what I love actually, as an entrepreneur, you are the brand, right?
Yes.
It's not even Play With Me.ZA, it's not the We Vibe Chorus, it's not
it's
the
not.
Venus Pump. It's Carmen and who you are that shines through, the whole space. And what I loved about what you said in the beginning is you're not selling ABC off a website.
Yes.
You're selling an experience.
Yeah.
And it's a healing one. Was there a shift for you where you realized that this was more than just an intimacy shop, or more than just access to toys?
I think it was, I had a client who came in who, it was that day something shifted for me. He started talking to me, he was looking for a libido enhancer for his fiancée. But before we could get to what would work for her, I'm like, okay, so tell me a little bit more about why. Because there are a range of libido enhancers, And he started, it was like the confessional booth. It's actually, I've written it out in a blog on my website, The Diaries of the Sex Toy Store Owner. So I've got a couple of chapters there already. And he started telling me about how he's been rejected for like a year, and he's now found a side chick, and he's been busy on the side, but he's so guilty for being busy on the side. He's a mess. This man is a mess. And I said to him, okay, would you like my guidance? Would you like me to listen? That's important for someone. It's like, you coming here, are you just letting off steam and unburdening yourself? Do you want actual advice?
Or do you just want to vent? Yeah.
Exactly. So I like to clarify before I go on and give you the wrong. Some people don't want advice. They just need to get it off their chest. And he was looking for advice that he didn't even knew he wanted. But the whole time he's confessing this to me, his eyes are getting bigger and bigger. Like he can't believe he's telling the stranger all of these things, but he's just going and going. And I thought, but who's he going to tell? Is he going to phone up his best friend? Okay, no, I'm having an affair. Is he phone mom and dad? There's no one to tell. It was such a relief for him to get this off his chest. And I said to him, okay, I understand exactly how you got to where you got to. And I maintain no one just opens up the door and falls into the arms of their lover. That's not how this works. We have to look back and see what's happened to get us to that point. I said to him, but in my personal opinion, there are three ways forward. You're either going to cancel lover and do everything you can to fix what you have to do with fiancé, okay? Or you're cancelling fiancé. I say this very tongue-in-cheek, cancelling, okay? Or you're cancelling both of them and you're choosing yourself. And so he mulled this over and he looked at me and he said, can we hug it out? I said, yes, we can. And we hugged it out. And he said, you should have charged me for this. I said, I probably should have, but that's okay, And off he went. And a couple of months later, and I'd thought about him so many times, it was in that week, when something in the shop reminded me of him. And it's always the case when you're thinking of someone and they phone you or they arrive at your door, and he comes back. And I said to him, I'm so glad you're here. I need closure. What happened? Come and tell me. And he had cancelled his lover. He was building his life with his fiancée. He was spoiling her. He was booking weekends away. And can I be completely honest with you? There was a light missing in his eyes. And I thought, I so wish you had chosen yourself. Because I have never been good at choosing myself. I did not tell him I wish he had chosen himself. Remember, I was very glad that he found a way forward that worked for him. And that is amazing. I never chose myself. I did not know how to pleasure myself. I didn't know what half these things mean now. I look beside something will cross my path now and I'll go, you never knew that at the age of 35? No one told me that. I never had the opportunity to experience that. There was so much I didn't know. I could have dealt with so many things so differently. But I never prioritized me and my own pleasure and understanding my body, which is where you should start first, because if you don't understand your own body, how are you supposed to pleasure this body? And how are we supposed to engage in the fullest in this relationship? We can't, because I don't know.
And you can't communicate that to a partner either. If
And then,
you don't
exactly.
even know.
And then I'm blaming you because you don't know, but I didn't know. How does this make sense? But that's what happens. And that is the reality.
And nobody talks about it.
No one talks about it, because who are they going to talk about it to? Well, they can talk to me about it. But not everyone knows there's a me. So where do you go? Who do you know what I mean? It's actually, there is a huge and dire need for education in the space. And so a lot of the colleagues that I work with, that is our purpose actually. It's about education.
And you know, in the podcast I had with Tam around sacred yoni, there's just so much shame and guilt around the topic
Yes.
that as couples,
Yeah.
it feels like an admission of weakness or an admission of
It's the not good enough
there's
button
something wrong,
that gets
I'm not good
pressed.
enough.
Of
Exactly.
course.
To bring up this now and say, listen, I'm
Yes.
not satisfied.
Yeah.
You know, you're worried about emasculating your partner. There's so many layers to this thing.
And so we worry about that. But I mean, let your partner not get it up. And what do we as females do?
Oh, of course.
What's wrong with me? Did I not wear the right lingerie? And I tell my female clients, hey, it's not all about you, ne? I see so many men here every day who are battling because finances, stress. Man is in crisis. That's not the topic of discussion for today, but what is man in today's society? Man is in crisis. That's the reality. Man's penis must work because man's penis makes a man. Then all of a sudden we're stressed and it's not working. Then it gets stuck in our heads and it's not working. Then you're upset because it's not working. Men, I tell you, it's that pain point, that shame is so difficult for them to carry. But we carry it. Whether we engage in a normal vanilla relationship, oh my goodness, dip your toe into kink, because you know I do that. Now that I have play with me. Dip your toe into kink and then feel the shame. I sat in shame after a kink-related experience that I had. And I had to phone someone in the community and say, like, was this wrong what I did?
For the listeners, can you just elaborate on what kink is?
So kink is, I don't call it the BDSM community, you know, spanking and tying up and bondage and restraints.
50 Shades.
50 Shades. That's a nice vanilla term, actually. 50 Shades. I call it kink because my vanilla clients don't like the words BDSM. So say there was a spanking or someone tied me up. And it was similar to that, just I'm not going into detail. You said to me before, what are things you don't want to talk about? I talk about everything, except for this, I'm not going to. The point is, I felt such deep shame for something that is perfectly natural to explore. And I'm the owner of the sex toy store, and I'm sitting here hanging my head in shame. And it's bothering me, because my brain says, it's fine for these reasons. And the rest of me is going, oh my God, am I weird? And I tell all my clients they're not weird, but I had to live through that. And I'm like, wow, how easy shame just arrives. And who do you tell? You know?
So you have a community. If
Yes.
that does come up for you, who's holding space for you?
The whole community. The whole community's there. I'm entrenched in the community.
So on the topic of kink, and we've had conversations about this, and I know that you've co-created, curated a few dungeon spaces.
I've been playing, everybody. My new game this year has been Dungeons and Dragons.
Wow.
That's what I call it.
I had no idea there was this world out there. And
Yes.
when you mentioned it to me, I was like, wow, really?
It's trending. It's trending at the moment, I'm telling you.
But it speaks deeply to your business, honoring all expressions of intimacy
I do.
and not shaming that.
I do.
So how do you approach, dealing with your own relationship after that kink experience? How did you approach these requests that are kind of on the edge of societal norms? You know, we're playing on the edge here. And what do they reveal actually? What does kink reveal about conscious play and the potential for healing?
Do you know what? I love the way you've positioned that it's conscious play. That's exactly it. So you've answered your own question. Because in a lot of other spaces, anything to do with sex, let's just say this, we don't drink in kink. That's the first very important point. We don't drink in kink. It's a rule in the community. We do not drink in kink. It's safe, sane, and consensual.
Wow.
There is so much more communication that happens in any kind of kink dynamic than in any normal relationship. We can learn a lot from that. I actually ran a series of workshops during this year to teach my vanilla clients using the communication pillars in kink, how to communicate better in their relationship. So because we are of sober mind, because we're communicating at that level, we're very conscious of what we're doing and exploring and feeling and seeing.
Please take us through some of those communication pillars.
It would be expression of desire. It would be my hard nose. What I like and what I don't like. You know what? I'm telling you this like it's the basic stuff. And you're going, yeah, but it's basic, but people don't talk about it. Consent. And consent you can wrap and pack and slice and dice. And consent is, am I in the mood, yes or no? No. How far can I push? What are my limits? And what I love about kink is you understand what your limits are. It's an agreement between two parties. We don't push ourselves over that limit. I don't like the stop okay. You know what, I have to pleasure my husband. I'm going to lie on my back and just get this over and done with.
Do it for your country. My one friend said that to me. She lies and she does it for her country. I was like,
and that is the saddest thing, because you're getting zero pleasure out of it. It's all so important that you know what I'm saying. So I think that we have a lot to learn from the depth of communication in the kink world. And also it's lovely to see how you kind of go like inch by inch forward. I use inches are so much better to use than centimeters. Inch by inch you start uncovering like your fantasies and what gets you going. And remember the whole kink dynamic is a power dynamic, and you get to play into that. I mean, you can profile yourself to see what kind of BDSM personality you are. There's so many resources out there if you know where to go. And it's exciting to think about that next play. So it can add a lot of spice to a vanilla relationship. But the communication for me is the most important element.
Are you where to go if any one of our listeners is willing to explore BDSM? Okay, I'm going to put your details in.
First, I'm going to lock them in my cage that you saw downstairs.
I didn't see it.
She walked right past the cage. It's twice as big as you. They can, because I have rope bondage classes here, and they're really, really great classes because my landlord calls them kinky scouts. So think about it. It's easy to come here. You get a piece of rope. Kinky Bunny teaches you how to tie knots. I can also teach. I'm a rigger. How to do knots, how to do ties, rope safety, and then you tie your partner up. Or singles also come to these events. And then from there they go, tell me more about the events going on. I want to know about flogging and spanking. And so it's an easy entry. We host those workshops here.
Okay. I'm going to put Carmen's details in the description of this podcast. So
did I even answer your question? Because, you know,
what was my question?
The consciousness, yes.
Conscious play.
Conscious play.
You know what I love about that is, and it ties into the work I do around energy and energy centers.
Yes.
And the sacral center, sacral chakra, is about creativity, actually.
Yep.
And that is creativity and sexuality. And if that area is shamed or blocked in any way, it's going to affect not only your intimacy experience, but the way you show up creatively in every aspect of your life.
Yes.
So sex is actually so sacred. It's a sacred energy exchange.
Very much so.
What
And
is...
you know, let's talk about very quickly, if you don't mind.
No,
blockages.
I don't mind. You are my...
No, I get so passionate about these things. I actually have a public address on the 8th of November, and I was like, Holmes, you have to like stick to 20 minutes. You really need to focus on what you're trying to tell these people. But we have an hour, so we're good. The myths. You know, people think there's something wrong with them when they walk in here and they go, listen, there's something wrong with me, and it's serious. I can only climax clitorally. There is something wrong with me. They've labeled themselves a big problem. I'm like, well, do you know that 70% of women can't climax via penetration alone? So you're actually on par. Mind blown! The thing is, when you speak of that block, it creates more of a block, and
Exactly.
so where the cycle continues, you know what I'm saying? And people come, and they're just like, what do you mean? I'm normal. You don't need to go to a sex therapist for that. It's just a lack of information. You with me? And all this time, you've been walking around with this big problem, and you're an abnormal species, and you're actually like all of us, but we're not talking to each other about it.
When you manifest more of it, because it's just like...
Then it's not going to happen.
Mental block, physical block,
I know,
emotional
and it's
block.
unnecessary. We put ourselves through so much. We are our own worst enemies at
Yeah.
the best of times.
100%. What is your favorite toy?
So, okay, we have a little yellow ducky here. Mine is not a ducky shape, but it does the same
I'm holding
thing.
it in my hand right now. I wish
So,
this was a video podcast.
This is technology that came out 4 years ago, and I'm sure a lot of listeners would probably have something similar. If not, you know where to find me. The clitoral stimulator. So what this does is it actually rotates vibrating air. So if you are a clitstim fan, like I am, there's no pressing, poking, prodding.
Oh, what is with that?
Because you get desensitized.
No, I mean,
With what?
a lot of...
You can say it. You're safe with me here.
Men also need to understand this, and it's,
Yes.
you know, it's not... Yeah, anyway, I'll let you continue.
I know. We don't need to manhandle the clit.
Yeah.
Okay? Or is that basically what we're trying to say? Please, everybody out there, be gentle. Okay.
Oh my God.
Hard is not always better on the
You know
outside.
exactly how to say something. It's like stuck in my throat. This is healing for me.
I'm so glad. So it's actually called pressure air technology. Womanizer, the brand Womanizer patented this technology, and a lot of brands have come out with versions. So the air actually rotates with the vibration. So it's not supposed to touch the clit. It massages it, and it's gentle. And that's what I like about it. I must tell you a story about after getting my genital piercing, what I did with my toy and how much
You've
trouble I
got
was
a
in.
genital piercing?
I do.
Oh, Anna.
Yeah, I did it for science. No, it's great. It's great, okay? We'll do that on the next one. So these don't touch you, therefore you don't get desensitized. So your like number of climaxes increase from you can have 20 because it's not desensitized. You can feel everything. So yeah, very gentle but very effective. It's 2 minutes
Wow.
and you finished.
I'm guaranteed. Is there a return back guarantee?
If you're not going to get there in 2 minutes, I will actually refund you, okay, and find you something else.
Why is this your favorite?
I like clitoral stimulation.
Okay.
And the thing is, I don't like the feeling. If you use a wand is touching down the whole time. You get used to, you get spoiled by this toy. It's 2 minutes, it's a different feel kind of orgasm. I call it my sleeping pill.
Yeah, it
What?
does. It does.
Yes.
But that does release. I mean, orgasm releases.
All the chemicals in the sleepy, which is
that
the
makes
sleepy
you
chemical.
feel so, yeah.
Yes. So it's a quick fix.
Okay.
And then I had a client go, I was sitting in traffic, and I said to her, my honey, please don't use it in traffic. You're going to get distracted.
Don't duck and drive.
So did you turn it on? Let's
No,
turn it
I
on
didn't.
for you here. You can stick
Okay.
your thumb on here. So the clit's best friend is toys like this. The rose, you would have heard potentially of the rose, or the listeners would have. Now block off that airflow with your thumb. Can you feel what it might be doing?
Oh.
Yes.
Is this your most popular?
Yes.
Wow.
Female technology, okay, other than people who want to explore their G-spots.
This is the sound of the
ducky.
The ducky.
Clitoral stimulator. You get 3,000 different versions of this. You get the silence, the one
it's got levels.
silence. This is no functions, just speeds. You're not getting past level 2 on this guy, I don't think, if you're new to this kind of toy.
Please switch it off.
I'm going to long press there to switch it off. Boom. So you get quieter ones, obviously, but this is quite a nice beginner toy. And the thing is, the rose has been trending on TikTok. People walking out and go, I want the rose. It's a rose-shaped one of these. So it does the same thing, it's just it's a rose shape. And so the rose, it's like, we want what the rose does. Okay, there are many things that operate the same as the rose, but the rose made it popular, I guess. So trending for 4 years flat.
And what is your best-selling male toy?
Just male or couples?
Couples.
Okay, well, let's do just male. I would say penis pump, still popular. Remember, we're going into, there's a problem with me here. We're addressing a pain point with the pump. We don't come here because, hey, I'm a macho man and I want to be bigger. We come here because we have an existing problem. So penis pumps will always be popular. And cock rings.
Cock ring?
So a cock ring will go around either the shaft of the penis or the scrotum and the shaft of the penis all the way around. And it just helps you maintain erection, gives you a little bit more sensation. Remember, we want to be harder, we want to last longer, we want to be stronger. That is man's focus when they walk into a place like this.
The lasting longer. Have you had a lot of clients talk about that, and what do you find is behind that? Mentally, emotionally?
It depends on, you know what, and this is where it does get complex, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. It could be so many things. Diet, stress levels, lack of testosterone, cholesterol. Not one case. There was a client who came in who was put on antidepressants. He could not finish. He was so desensitized, he could not come. And so one of my clients said to me, wouldn't that be nice if you could just last so long? And I said, absolutely not if you can't ever get to the finish line because of the medication he was on. Because there would be also a difference between a circumcised man and an uncircumcised man. And it's basically levels of sensitivity. So there are too many factors to highlight one root cause of it all. An older gentleman, lack of testosterone, things get tired. We need to start, or I have diabetic clients. And that's a huge problem for them,
The lasting.
Actually getting it up. You can't even get to lasting because it's blood flow. So it's never just one thing, is the answer to your question.
I've lost my train of thought.
We were talking about popular toys. So now I'd like to highlight a popular couple's toy is that damn panty vibrator. There's a little vibrator with little magnetic wings that clip into your panties, and he has the remote control. Remote control toys are always popular.
Oh, boys love that.
That as a couple's toy is it. And then you get the cock ring, the vibrating cock ring with the rabbit attachment for clitoral stimulation. That's also like one of the first places couples will start. That one also has a remote, the one I've got downstairs, and it's so popular.
And all of these toys still use batteries?
We recharge them now. We plug them in. Plug them into your laptop there in the office.
Oh, wow. What is this meant for different cultures? Do you see a diverse spread of
Yes.
clients coming in here?
Yes,
or
I
is it-
do.
Okay.
I do.
So it's not taboo for one culture versus another. That
Oh
you know,
no,
what you've
I
observed.
think it is more taboo for some cultures. That's definitely the thing.
Okay.
A lot of, say, let's look at the Zulu culture, men, toys, competition, not happening.
Oh.
Because I am.
Am I not enough?
Am I not enough? Why do you need toys now? But give me let's offer you a remote control toy and you're leaving with that. Because you're in control of the remote. You see? Interesting,
It
eh?
is so psychological.
Yeah. And the Afrikaner nation remains the naughtiest nation, but also the
I
the
was shocked
nation
when you
that
said
does not talk about it.
Of course.
But they're the naughtiest.
When you said that to me the first time, I was like, really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
I was in Founder 2 weekends ago for a breast cancer awareness women's event, and I mean, it was Afrikaans females. And they went nuts.
Wow.
So I'm heading to the, if you don't see me, I'll be in the Free State. Okay. I have work to do there.
When you say Zulu men, is it all generations, do you find?
I find, look, I can't speak to, and I'm generalizing here based on the interactions I've had in my store. It is 90% of them,
Wow.
about.
And how do people find you usually?
What, find the
If you had
business?
to proportion website versus walk-in versus...
I do have a lot of foot traffic in the store at Google Business. So people go onto maps and go, sex toy store near me. And then they arrive.
Ah,
And then I also have a very loyal base. You know what, I'm very blessed and very lucky. I have a huge existing following of continuous supporters that keeps the business going.
How is your brand evolving? You know, and this is something I've realized 4 months into entrepreneurship. First of all, I'm amazed that you realized this so long ago. It only just clicked for me that it's something, my soul was just dying inside anyway. The golden handcuff thing. But I'm realizing that even 4 months into my own business, it's evolved so many times.
Yeah.
So how is Play With Me evolving? What are some of the next ventures?
The next, Dungeons and Dragons is something that
Is it really called Dungeons?
I call it that. I said to the guy who builds my furniture, who's the dungeon and who's the dragon? Who's who in the zoo? Because it's like, and I wouldn't say, it almost feels like the complete package. I'm going in here to your house, you've got a space, I'm understanding you psychologically, I'm understanding you emotionally, physically I'm putting in the things that you're physically going to use, I can educate you around how to do it, I can give you scenarios of how to do it, you can see it. You know what, a lot of people walk out of here and they're like, I'm so happy because I'm going to go find my G-spot, okay? Or I'll get a message, this toy's great and this is what happened. But to see a whole dungeon come to life and to imagine the scenarios that could take place in there and how that would enhance those people's lives is like the be-all and end-all for me right now.
You're like an intimacy interior designer.
Yes, fancy, who would have thought? So that is where the company is expanding a lot into the kink realm. Furniture, I mean, you'll see that big piece there you walked up the stairs. That's a cross / restraint, spreader, you name it. It's an all-in-one kind of situation because it's taking off in this country. You know, did you ever watch How to Build a Sex Room?
No.
Melanie Rose did it in the UK, How to Build a Sex Room. This came out 3-4 years ago. I did a whole article about it. No one ever really dived into, and now people want dungeons. Now. So we're trailing behind, but it's a young market now, and I love the fact that I can grow in that space. I mean, I will see very vanilla couples who then come to a rope bondage workshop, who then go to a kink club, who then wants a dungeon at home, who then, so you're kind of growing with these people.
That's amazing.
So I'd like to do more of those things, and then I'm out doing events. I have agents, I have my staff who go out and do events. So we go to clubs, we go to pubs, we go to, listen, you'll be doing your yoga and I'll be popping up there, okay? Because I can't wait for everyone to come and find me. I know I can benefit people. I need to go out and do that.
Wow.
Doing a huge road show. I'm going to brainstorm it with my suppliers this afternoon, because the thing is, we don't know what we don't know, and we don't know that we have access to a place like this that is okay. Yeah. And I need to make sure more people know that I exist, so that I can leave you with these wonderful gifts.
I know.
You know,
I wouldn't have known all of this if I didn't visit.
If I didn't bump into you at school.
And that was class 1.
Yes.
And I nearly crawled into a hole when you said to me what you did. And it just showed how much shame I had around it. Like, I didn't know where to look. And you said it so confidently.
You didn't look. Everybody heard, listeners, she didn't look like how she said she felt. You did not look like that.
Did I not? Did I hide it well?
Oh, you hid it very well.
I just remember not knowing what to say. But it just, at the time, I didn't even realize I had issues around sexuality.
You don't. Remember, it's missionary. That's all it is. Okay? We're going to live for the rest of our lives with missionary and no self-pleasure.
So,
and we touched on this earlier, just based on what you said, because I started at the school our daughters go to. My child had been moved from another school, and when she started at that school, I had started the company. And people would say to me, all the new parents, what do you do for a living? And I'd say, I have an online store. And before they could ask me what it was, I would ask them what they did. Because you know, people like talking about themselves. Yeah. I did not want to actually have people know that I'm the owner of a sex toy store, because I was worried they would look at my child differently. How weird is that? How messed up is that?
What made you comfortable telling me then, straight off the bat?
Because you're you. I've always been comfortable telling you things. And you hid it so well. If I'd known then that I made you uncomfortable, I would have taken it back.
Well, you did, because we went for coffee like a month later.
We did.
Coffee and breakfast and with the girls.
But I had to accept that it's okay to be the owner of the sex toy store. Because this is not your average sex toy store. This is not dark windows, you know.
Neon light
carpets. You want to get that black light out and see what's been going on, you know. If someone walked in here, I was on that Netflix Showmax of Sex in Afrikaans. They filmed me here.
Really?
Yeah, I was on the episode 2. You must go check. It was a very interesting show. And he came in here and he said, wow, it's so clean here. I said to him, excuse me, as opposed to what? He says, you have no idea what I've seen. That was his answer. This is like makeup shopping here.
No, this is very sophisticated. Yeah. It's got a beautiful energy. There was something I wanted to... Oh, yes, hiding this business in the beginning. I find that I also tend to hide now some of the things that I do because of, and this is the whole thing about alignment, right? And you know, the healing work I do, a lot of people might see it as, you know, woo-woo or taboo. So it's quite parallel to what you're doing. And I'm getting better at it, but I understand what you're saying is that in the beginning you kind of hide it thinking, I'm going to be judged, I'm going to be persecuted for this, you know, people are going to think, you know, there's something wrong with me. Now I'm like, fuck that, actually. If I'm true to myself and in alignment with what my gifts are, this is my offering. And I'm going to stand in the power of it.
Congratulations.
And I love how you stand in your power.
Yes. Because it's none of anybody else's business.
I've never seen you on an off day. Never.
Have you not?
No, your nails are always perfectly done.
Yes, no one messes with my sexy typing nails, hey?
As we sit here, Carmen has...
Okay, I messed some glue on there this morning. These stay on.
the most amazing nails all the time, like 24/7. Hair, dresses, everything. You're always so beautiful, inside and out.
Thank you so much.
And not afraid to speak your mind. I mean, in those parents' meetings.
Oh my word, sometimes I must just shush, hey?
No, not at all.
If I'm quiet, you know there's something wrong.
Exactly. Okay. And you have been quiet in a couple of them. But I just love the confidence you have. And that's, I think, why I was drawn to you. It's, I want more of that. And when I asked you to do the podcast, I wanted to inject your energy into my space. So thank you for doing this with me.
Oh, thank you for asking me to be part of it. There's so much to share. There's so much to offer other people.
There is so much.
And you know what? If I can just say this one thing, because I feel like I can sense she's trying to finish this now.
No, I have a couple of
I just want to say, okay, but just while we're on that moment, because I actually felt it in my gut. There's nothing wrong with you, because when I was married, I thought there was something wrong with me for so long. I tortured myself over it. I'm not enjoying this intimacy. Oh, this is probably how marriage should be, but I don't want to do it anymore. There must be something wrong with me. There must be, and there isn't. If one day you come and visit me at the Play With Me store and ask me about my 10 freakiest clients, you'll realize there's absolutely nothing wrong with you, and there's also nothing wrong with them. To explore is a gift we've been given. We don't want to waste time and not explore and not feel the pleasure we deserve. I can't accept that people do not feel the pleasure that they were born to deserve. My TED Talks is now over.
You answered. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. You actually answered my last question, because I was going to ask you, what advice would you whisper in the ear of someone if you had to give them one truth leaving your shop? What would that be?
It starts with me. You're the only one who can change a situation. You're the only one who can give yourself the pleasure you deserve. And of course, that man, once you've taught him, absolutely 100%, but you're responsible for your pleasure. You're responsible for carving out the time for it. You're responsible for getting over your hang-ups over it. The shame you feel. And I had my very best friend come to me the other day and go, I did this kink play and I'm feeling ashamed for this reason. And I'm like, I so get it, because I know exactly what that feels like. And this is how you will feel better about it and celebrate it, as opposed to stop yourself from doing the things you deserve to do. We need to get over our own selves 99% of the time. And it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. That you didn't know half the things that were going on here, that's also okay. Start now.
Get out of your own way.
Start now.
Yeah.
Start little bit by little bit and just dip that toe and see what it feels like.
And if it's not for you, that's also okay,
that's
right?
Not everything is for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to come in here and tell me I'm some dom sap. That ain't happening.
Yeah.
But you're going to come in here and I'm going to lock you up in chastity and keep the key. That will happen. But I have to understand what my preference is. So if we can just get in touch with our bodies, understand where our pleasure centers are, let go, and just be, and you will love that. Just be, let go. It's okay. You don't have to control everything all the time.
Control. I've got issues with control.
And you don't have to control everything all the time.
So when you mentioned, I actually felt my body tense when you mentioned the cross and being tied up, and you know, I was like, that your answer was beautiful, and it fed into what was going to be my last question, but I think you've already answered it. But please, you know, if there's anything else you want to add. Sensual wellness, you know, what is the one ingredient you feel is missing with intimacy, sensual wellness right now for our culture, African, South African?
Communication.
Yeah, you've said
always.
It. Yeah.
I can't speak enough about communication. And you can't communicate enough. That is the reality. Because sometimes when we're in a relationship, I'm looking at something through my lens, you're looking at it through your lens.
And we're missing each other.
And we're completely missing, it's okay. Your lens is like that. And I had this conversation with my partner. We had a fight. And he was like, you're not hearing me. You're not hearing me. And I'm like, I am hearing you. He's like, no, but walk a mile in my shoes. I'm like, but you don't really like to wear shoes. And so this is how it was. But it's truth. Those pluckies come off and we feet on the ground kind of, that's my Afrikaner man. And it took about a week. And I said to him, okay, tell me again how you felt when I did that. Tell me again. That whole mirroring thing. So I say to you, this is how I feel. You hear, I feel like that. Then we go, what did you hear that how I felt? And so it takes time and you go up and down. And the penny dropped in that moment. And I said to him, I'm so sorry about what I said. I know now how you felt. For a whole week of not knowing. But going, but. And when you learn to communicate effectively, everything's better.
And communication is also about listening, right? It goes both ways.
Oh, yes.
It's not just about expressing yourself, it's knowing how to listen.
You listen for listening's sake, you don't listen to respond.
Yeah.
And I battle with that. Because, you want to protect yourself. So you're telling me something. You're telling me I've hurt your feelings.
You're formulating an answer already.
My response is to protect myself because I feel I'm taking it personally. I feel like you don't love me because I've hurt your feelings. And now the communication would be me being quiet, listening. I would also not respond immediately. I'd go, do you know what? If there's something, can we pick this up tomorrow? I really want to marinate on what you've said. And I remember it's not because you don't love me.
We don't go into defense mode.
I don't need to go into defense mode because I now know who I am. And I'm the first person, if I have hurt your feelings, I will be there to try and fix it, and I will take not responsibility, accountability for it. That's who I am. It doesn't mean I'm a bad person. Because it hits our not good enough button, and then we have to protect ourselves from here until kingdom come.
Communication
and less BS.
Less BS.
If I have this orgasm, what will the neighbors think? I don't care.
Unfiltered communication.
There we go.
Carmen, I love you. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
And thank you for having me. And you know what I do in my downtime, which
What?
at the moment I haven't had a lot of.
Yeah.
Saturday I was lying in the park under a tree, listening to your YouTube channel. Catching up. Remember I told you I'm going to indulge.
You said you're going to indulge. Yeah, I'm like, indulge.
It was your voice and those trees and the sky. It was amazing. So thank you for everything you do.
Oh wow, thank you for saying
Yes,
that.
it's such a pleasure.
I appreciate that.
And I appreciate you.
So thank you for listening. I am going to drop all Carmen's details in the description. Your website, not cell phone number, right? Your contact details are on the website.
They're on the website. You can WhatsApp me from the website, so that comes through to my number.
Your workshops, all of that.
Everything's there.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
Anything to say in closing?
No, it's been such a fun time, so thank you.
Fun. Thank you. Okay, listeners, until next time, that was amazing. Leave us your comments. Anything you'd like to share about your experiences, we'd love to hear that as well. Until next time.